You feel it rising again, don't you? That familiar burn in your chest. Your jaw clenches, your breath changes, just a little tighter, just a little shorter. You tell yourself you're fine, but inside, you're not. Anger, again. It shows up in the smallest moments. Someone cuts you off. Someone interrupts you mid-sentence. Someone ignores you when you needed them to see you. It's never just the moment. It's everything that's built up behind it. And you explode, out loud, or maybe just in your head. Then what? Silence, guilt, regret. The damage you didn't want to do, done. But what if I told you this can end? Not in some mystical, just be positive way, but in a real, methodical, powerful way, through something ancient, something tested through war, betrayal, loss, humiliation, and yet unbreakable. Stoicism. This isn't about suppressing anger. It's not about pretending to be calm while you're screaming inside. It's about transforming anger before it transforms you into something you'll regret. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And in that one sentence, he gave you the roadmap out of anger. But first, you need to understand why you're angry in the first place, because anger isn't random. It's not some mysterious force that attacks you. It's predictable, traceable, and more importantly, trainable. Anger usually comes from one of three things. 1. An expectation being violated. 2. A perceived disrespect. 3. A sense of powerlessness. Let that sink in. That means your anger isn't really about them. It's about what your mind expected and didn't get. It's about the story you told yourself about how things should go. And when reality didn't match that story, boom. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They felt. They lost sons, friends, empires. They were betrayed, beaten, exiled. But they learned how to observe their anger before it could own them. They built space between stimulus and response. And in that space, they found their freedom. Now it's your turn. But before we go deeper, ask yourself this. When was the last time your anger helped you? Not protected your pride, not made you feel right, but truly helped you, long term. Most of the time, anger makes you feel strong, but it's a lie. It's strength that fades the second you cool down. The kind of strength that shatters relationships, destroys peace, and leaves you empty. That's not real power. Real power is being in control of yourself when everything else wants control of you, and that's exactly what we're here to build. So how do we begin? By becoming aware, radically aware, of how and when anger enters the room. Not when you're yelling, not when you're slamming doors. Before that. The moment your heart rate spikes. The moment your mind says, "That's not fair." The moment you feel disrespected, overlooked, or ignored. That's where the training begins. Because the Stoics taught that awareness is the first weapon in emotional mastery. Here's the truth. Most people never train this. They walk around on autopilot, letting emotions drive the car, then wondering why they crash. But not you. You're here to take the wheel. Start by journaling your triggers. Seriously. Every time something irritates you, write it down. Not for shame, not for guilt, for clarity. The Stoics believed that clarity kills chaos. You can't control what you don't understand. You can't master what you never observe. And once you begin to see the pattern behind your anger, you'll realize something powerful. You've been rehearsing it. That's right. You've practiced being angry for years, in your reactions, your thoughts, your stories. You've taught your brain that anger is the default response. But what if you could rehearse something else? Calm, clarity, restraint, strength. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Not forever, just a moment, a breath, a pause between the emotion and the expression. That's where power lives." But we're not done, because anger isn't just about the moment, it's about the meaning. And that's exactly where we go in part 3. Anger doesn't just come from what happens, it comes from what you believe it means. Someone cuts in front of you in traffic. The fact? A car moved, but your mind adds meaning. They disrespected me. They think they're more important. And now, you're not just reacting to the car, you're reacting to a story. This is where Stoicism goes deeper than any self-help quote or motivational speech. The Stoics taught, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about things. Epictetus, meaning, you are the meaning maker, and that's where your freedom lies. Let me tell you something. Anger is often a defense mechanism against feeling vulnerable. Hurt? Turn it into rage. Disrespected? Turn it into dominance. Afraid? Turn it into fury. But under all of that is a person trying to protect something fragile. You. And this is not weakness. This is the starting point of true strength. To look directly at what you're feeling without hiding behind the armor of anger. The Stoic doesn't suppress feeling. The Stoic dissects it, studies it, strips it of drama, then chooses what to do with it, calmly, clearly, and with purpose. That's not emotionless. That's elite emotional intelligence. That's what you're building. But we still haven't talked about the deeper problem. The illusion of control, and that's exactly what we're facing in part 4. Anger often comes when we try to control what we were never meant to. Other people's tone, their attitude, their opinion, their respect, their apology. But here's the hard truth. You are not entitled to any of that. You're not entitled to people treating you kindly. You're not entitled to fairness. You're not entitled to validation, explanation, or closure. You're only entitled to your own actions, thoughts, and reactions. That's it. This isn't cold. It's liberating. Because once you stop trying to control everything outside, you can start mastering everything inside. This is the core of Stoic fireproofing. Train your mind. Own your response. Detach from the outcome. Marcus Aurelius meditated on death every day, not to be morbid, but to train his mind to release the illusion of control. If he could do that while leading an empire, you can do it in traffic, in conflict, in heartbreak. And when you stop needing the world to be fair, you finally get your peace back. But now it's time to turn inward. Because you've understood anger, you've dissected it. Now you need to decide who you want to become. That's where we go, part 5. And this time, it's on you. So now you stand here, facing a decision. You've seen how anger forms. You've learned how to pause. You understand the illusion of control. But none of it matters if you don't choose to change. Not overnight, not perfectly, but deliberately. Start small. One trigger, one breath. One moment where you pause instead of explode. You are training your nervous system, your awareness, your identity. You're not managing anger anymore. You're mastering yourself. And every time you choose clarity over chaos, every time you choose restraint over reaction, you lay another brick in the foundation of an unshakable life. That's what Stoicism is. Not quotes, not calm faces. It's daily work, silent victories, invisible strength. Call to action. If you're ready to stop being a slave to anger, if you're ready to rebuild yourself from the inside out, drop a comment right now and write one sentence. I choose control, not just for today, for who you're becoming. And subscribe, because this isn't the end. This is the first step in a new direction. The truth is, Anger won't disappear. You'll still feel it. You'll still get tested. There will be days where your tools fail, where the pause comes too late, where the fire wins. But that's not failure. That's training. The Stoics never promised perfection. They practiced progress. Marcus Aurelius wrote hundreds of pages to himself, because even an emperor lost control sometimes. So will you. And that's okay. Because this isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally powerful. You'll know you've grown when you feel the heat rise and you breathe instead of react. Someone disrespects you and you stay centered. Life throws fire and you don't burn. That's the real win. Not applause, not proving someone wrong, but walking away from chaos untouched, because you've built something inside that no one can shake. Not anger, not shame, not the world itself, just you, present, peaceful, powerful. Welcome to the work, welcome to the path, welcome to the calm. Now go live it.